Greetings, guys. I'm on a great permission thanks to a couple of fans of mine that have invited me to come out and play with them. I'm here today with Val and Gary, and if you look off in the distance, you can see our trucks parked right over there. And I've been doing a little probing. I'm bound and determined to find a bottle dump here. Pretty sure there is one. So far I haven't, but we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to let Gary and Val show you some of the finds that they've discovered here in the past to kind of give you a little more of a historical context for what's going on here.
We're in an old Turpentine village here, and I guess we'd say this is north central Florida. Looks like it's probably from about the 1880s to probably early 1900s, and we just find all kinds of things.
Well, show me.
Okay.
Well, starting off, we found what we think is where maybe the commissary was here. This is an old scale parts. You got a pretty neat plaque with the dial on it.
So you all can see where there's kind of a dial here. The lever, the little arrow would have come out here for the scale. This also has kind of a graduated numbering system on it. And yeah, so it probably would have gone something like this, and you hooked whatever you wanted to weigh right here. And then this pulled down on a spring apparatus, but
Bounce your weight across to come up with your weight.
Yep.
right. So I recognize that scale as being from the 1890s, and guys, that's a really excellent
Yeah,
find.
we really,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you should be
excited
proud of
we
that.
found
Show me this marble I'm looking at.
Oh, this marble is awesome. I don't know. It looks almost like it's porcelain. It's very light.
Not
Kind of
round.
ceramic. It's definitely not
It's-
rounded.
You know, I can tell it's out of round.
Yeah, it's almost like it's obviously handmade. And then one of our favorite finds is this beautiful heart lock.
Mhm.
I love it because it has that sliding brass plate. There's
Right, that's-
M.W. and Company on the plate.
Got, what do we got?
Classic
Harmonica reeds. You have one item, looks like a suspender buckle. It's made out of brass. And it says Prima Solid on it. Now, guys, I tried to look this up, and I could not find it. If anybody out there knows the year of manufacture for this belt buckle, please comment, because we would like to know.
So this is a little button that we found, and it says the engineer on it. And I think that's a picture of a train on it too.
I
a
like
great
that.
button.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's awful chirpy for being solid metal.
That's a chunk. You got an axe head.
Yep.
Holy cow.
An axe head.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's a whopper too, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Could you imagine?
So how many axe heads do you think you all have found
Gosh,
out
probably
here?
a good,
Oh, 20 or more.
yeah, definitely.
20 easily.
20.
Some really nice,
This
some
is-
split, some beat up.
Usually they're the long ones.
This
The
is
long
real-
rectangular
Yeah,
ones.
this is also a common one where the way it comes up right there. We've found quite a few of
Yeah.
them that have that.
Well, that's a nice find. It
Yeah,
goes right along
great.
with the
You can
turpentine industry.
Wash it up,
Yep.
beat on it, and clean it up a little bit.
I admire Val and Gary's passion for metal detecting, but as it turns out, their sense of adventure includes other outdoor hobbies. They hunt wild boar together, they hunt deer, and they hunt gators, big gators. And you know what they say, the family that plays together stays together. Okay, Gary's got a big tone right here in the hole. And of course he's got Val digging it up.
Oh,
Is it Val or Valerie?
It's Valerie,
it's a
but-
pipe.
It's a pipe. Let me
It's right, goes that way.
take that.
It's a long pipe, what'd you say?
Yeah.
The old water line.
I don't know about that. I don't think they had water lines back then.
Oh!
What are we?
Found one of them in a while.
Whoa! What is that?
That's the
That's the axe, the long axe we're telling
That's the
about.
long axe.
Yep.
Really? That's a. I have not.
Reading that high.
You know, I have not found one of those,
Oh
guys.
no. Well, there you go.
That is.
Oh, you could take that one too.
Yep, that's-
Tell you what. Now you have to be a man to.
you know, right?
Yeah, right?
Let's see. Gosh,
Yeah,
that
okay,
thing's.
so maybe that was
Yeah.
a tree?
It's up there 10 or 12 pounds. That thing is huge.
Isn't it? That was in really good shape.
I wonder if that's kind of a splitting axe where they come back and they hit it if they're chopping
Could
wood.
be, because it's so heavy.
It's really a weird axe. I've found a bunch of them.
Have you?
I just really don't know what. I know it's part of the turpentine
You-
tools.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that. Now
I'd like to know.
I think that's a fantastically interesting find right
I've
there.
taken the grinder and cleaned a couple of those up.
Oh, have you?
Nice, yeah.
I guess what I thought, oh,
It's not, you know, it's not broken on either. It's not broken on either side of it. I mean, it's intact.
Now a lot of them I find they're split right here.
Are they?
Yeah.
But this one's perfect. Washed it off so you can see it a little bit. Oh yeah, you can see where the handle went right through there.
Yep.
It's not broken. That is an awesome find. Terrific.
So heavy.
I'm still probing. I'm darn determined to find a bottle dump out here. But in the meantime, Val's giving me a whoop, so we're going to go over and check out what they found. So what you guys got?
I don't know. Take your time.
I see Gary's got Val doing all the work. Okay.
She's the treasure hunter. She loves digging up the treasure.
I know.
It's mushy.
I think you're too
She
far.
falls into the category of being a fanatic, which is good. This is great.
There it is.
Oh, it's right there.
Herty tool.
What you
Oh,
got?
yeah.
So what do we think this is?
That would be a cat claw, or what do they call it? A cat.
It's kind of a,
Base
I think it's
tool.
called a, yeah, I think it's called, maybe called a
A
hack.
hack.
hack,
That would be right. Yeah.
Yeah,
a hack.
yeah.
It's a
So
nice
this
one.
is way cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I
It's
know
even
you
got the
found
end
one
on it.
earlier today. I'm not quite, in my head, I'm trying to see, with this attached to a wooden handle of some
Yeah.
sort?
I believe
Exactly.
they had a round rod and poke a hole in it right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then strap this probably with wire. And from what I found in the past, I believe they had a ball end on them.
Gotcha.
So that they,
For
you know,
a little
had
bit of-
something to give them some strength on it.
Well, that's cool. That matches up with everything you all
Yeah.
I've been finding out here. So
The Turpentine community.
yeah, that sounds solid. So you're gonna let Val do the work again, right?
There's your middle right there.
Right where the root's at?
Yeah, back out of it a little bit,
Okay.
like you were. Yeah,
Right here.
right on top of the root.
Yep, there's a root right there. Oh. I don't know. Oh. It's
Find
right, yeah. Delta, I thought.
Soupy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain here lately.
Oh, we're missing this. Other than it says it's 8 to 10 inches deep.
is that what it said?
I think it's still in there somewhere. Talk about making mud pies.
Right? Oh,
Might be still a ways down in there.
yeah. And it's,
You know, that's down
it's
there.
yeah, it's right here, and it's got some size to it. So,
It's down there at least a foot.
yeah, right there. That's
Another
it.
card for you all to
You
see,
might
but
want-
Let me try.
Yeah.
Gary, see if you can get a grip on it.
It ain't moving.
More shovel.
Maybe it's a barrel of an old gun.
That would be sweet, like from the Civil War.
Or a piece of pipe.
Still probing. I've been working my way down this, just looking to see if I can find any discharge or broken glass. I thought that might be an easier way to do it. Just walk along. And after checking the ditch out, I didn't really find anything except on the ground right in front of me. I saw a little piece of rusted metal sticking out. So this is it right here. It looks like it might be another one of those tools used to, well, I don't know. That's another tool they may have used to scrape the bark off the trees with. This looks like a more primitive version than the one-sided kind of hack or cutting tool that Val and Gary came up with earlier. But this probably had a handle on it. This looks very crude. I think this is handmade, probably hand forged. So sometimes you don't need a metal detector. Just got to keep your eyes open.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
Gary's just stuck up a huge piece of.
There's a piece of purple.
Oh, we're into the glass, and I've got a piece
Yeah.
right at the end of my probe.
Here you go, nice little piece of china. And that's the,
That's an amethyst.
That-
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's gonna be before World War One,
yeah. Let's see what we got here.
right? That's a larger piece right there.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Sure enough, it's a green. It's a beer. Still rooting around this hole where Gary has found pieces of what we think is a cast iron stove, and now we have
What looks like part of a...
Herty pot, the clay pot that was used in the Turpentine. So far out of this little hole, we've gotten these artifacts. no bottles that are whole. I believe that there's somewhere on this property there is a mega bottle dump.
Oh yeah.
We just have to find it. So this place is just loaded with access in it. Looks very similar to what we think, for lack of a better word, is a splitting maul that Gary found just a few minutes ago. And this is probably only, I'm looking at it, maybe 15 feet away. And this one is intact too. I mean, if you clean this off, you could put the handle right through here. So, I mean, they are just everywhere. And it's incredible. Just pulled this out of the ground. It's brass. It has a design on it. It's folded in on both sides. I believe it was perfectly circular, and it may be the back to a pocket watch. Not sure, but that's just a guess. So I'm here with a longleaf pine tree, and I brought some of the tools that Gary, Val, and I discovered the other day. I wanted to talk about the use of the tools. At the time we found them, it wasn't clear in my mind just exactly what they were used for, but now, thanks to YouTube, I have a much better understanding and appreciation. Trees like the longleaf pine and the slash pine were both used to harvest sap, which was then processed into pitch or tar. And at that time, particularly before 1900, it was called naval stores, simply because it was used to waterproof ship sails or for caulking planks on ships. And of course, nowadays we don't have wooden ships, and so the need for this type of product is not as great as it once was. I wanted to begin with what I think is the oldest tool that we recovered. And I've got two of them here. And I was wanting to make this into a splitting maul when I first found it. It is not a splitting maul. This is called a box axe. And it was used in the turpentine industry probably well before 1900, 1890s, 1880s. And so what they did with this particular type of axe, a skilled laborer would chop out a cavity at the base of the tree. It would kind of start as a V here and then widen all the way into the heart of the tree. The sap would, of course, be running out. They put a container in there, collect the sap, then come back later and take it to a processing plant. This particular method killed the tree, and it was estimated that about 3 million longleaf and slash pines died an early death because of this particular technique. Along in 1902 comes a chemist named Charles Herty, who invents a different method for extracting sap. And the method that he used did not kill the tree. And so what he did was come up with a tool called a chipper or a hack. And we actually found 3 of these the other day. I think I showed you one on film. And this would be the cutting edge. Now I've taken it and put it in the vise and I've filed it down a little bit to make it a little bit sharp, but I'm sure it isn't near as sharp as it would have been back in the day. And they would have taken this hack and it would have had a 6-pound weight on the end. I've just put pipe clamps on it and just attached it to an old broom handle just to give you an idea what it looked like. But they took this tool and they would cut a V in here this way and a V down this way. And they would start at the base of the tree. They'd have their Herty cup or a tin tray here. And then when this layer ran out, they cut another one here, 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 so forth. Took about 3 years to get to here, another 3-4 years to get to maybe 8, 9, 10 feet in height. They would also make the same gashes or cuts on the opposite side of the tree. But the reason why the Herty method did not kill the tree was because it didn't girdle it. I always left a strip of bark here on each side. I'm going to demonstrate how it was used. Keep in mind, this is not near as sharp as they would have been, 120 years ago. And it is not that sharp, even though I sharpened it. Then you come the opposite side. Now, it's probably taken me a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but a skilled man could probably make that gash in 15, 20 seconds. Then they'd move on to the next tree. This tool, this is the one I found with the end right here sticking up out of the ground. It is called a puller, and it was attached to a handle probably 4 to 5 feet long. And when they got about this high and they had to go above their head, they would use the puller to then create the cat face in the tree, sometimes as high as 10 feet. So we've got a good selection of tools that help tell the history of that Turpentine village. Much appreciate Gary and Val letting me come out and do some digging and some metal detecting with them. And if you're out of Jacksonville or that area in Northeast Florida where Jacksonville is located, they have a business called Furniture Fixers. They do both residential and commercial. Check them out sometime. I understand they do really good work. They've been at it for 30 years.